with our own stuff. All right. Welcome everyone to the podcast. This is CLOUT, the podcast, and I am your host, favorite, skinny, average, icon, and legend, Katlego Christopher Koza. Today is episode 2, and I am joined by Lesego April Chabedi. With me in studio today, we will be talking about the world of influencers and how it affects our media. I also will be talking to my guests about her recent project, and if you guys have not seen her or heard of her, I need you to open up your social media and use the hashtag the little prince. That's where you will see the amazingness of her work. She has done great things in her past and she is still doing great things in the future. Join me in listening to our podcast as we get to know her and get to talk about what it is being an influencer. Hi, April. Thank you so much.
Hi, Katlego. Thank you so much for inviting me. And hello to
I've
your
been
listeners as
meaning,
well.
I've been meaning to actually get you into studio, and that's like one of my guest lists that I had. When I started the podcast, I was like, I need to have her in. I really want to have her in because I, as much as I don't know if people do know about your husband and my relations with your husband, I'm like, your husband doesn't excite me. You excite me because you are a theater girl. You are a theater girl.
Katlego,
Yeah.
your cousin must bring the cows first for you to call him my husband. First.
But but in my mind, I'm like, and you know what? My cousin doesn't excite me, guys. He doesn't. I love you because you excite me because you're a theater girl, and I'm like, this is what I relate to.
Yeah.
This is someone that I know. If I have a genuine conversation with about actors and everything, she's my girl and she gets me. So I was like, as much as I'd be like, hi, please come through. I'm like, nah, not you. It won't be fun. So when I wrote up my list, I was like, she is definitely my next guest.
Man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Such a pleasure. Yeah, such a pleasure to be here. Anyway, I love our conversations, Vele. Theater's power, man.
It is. And I think I saw a post the other day on Twitter where someone says the most unrecognized profession and the most underrated profession are theater actors.
Yes.
These people learn lines, learn choreograph, learn stage directions, and learn a lot of things. And these people can do it in less than a month or 3.
Yeah.
So these people actually do a lot of work. You guys just don't know about it and don't recognize it. And I was like, this is true because you hear stories of how some actors are like, we got the script like 2 months ago and pow, we're now doing it for everyone. And I'm like, geez, Mina, it's script. I'd be like, what's going on? I'd still be like, I must remember this line. I'm like, these people actually are taught themselves to not only remember lines, because really it's not about remembering lines, but it's also to incorporate the lines.
Definitely.
I mean, acting is not a doing thing. It's what you feel. You need to feel it and you need to express it with your body. So I always say, when that post I saw it, I was like, this is true because really, it's not about learning lines. It's about feeling. You need it's characterization. You need to feel. You need to be part of it, and you need to express it. And I always think to myself, and then when these people are done with these productions, how long does it take for you to actually move out of the character and be yourself? So for you, how long does it take for you to move out of the character that you currently are in and to be like, I'm Lesego? Because really, once you take over a role, you take it into your life.
Yeah, that's so true. At the moment, I think I would go to the first statement you talked about that thing you found on Twitter. For me, it's not really about us. It is, we learn lines, we do all of this, but it's not about that. For me, it's just like live entertainment. You know what I mean? Like feeling in the moment, like having to live the same scene every night for 6 weeks, every night at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? On screen, you can, that is pre-recorded. You don't have to do it every night for 6 weeks. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, so we do it every night for 6 weeks. So that means we should be paid more. We're doing more than what the camera would be doing, what the cameraman would be doing, or the editing guy would be doing. You know what I mean? We edited live.
Yeah.
So if I have a mistake, I have to fix that mistake there. There's no editor that's going to come and fix it for me. There is no director who's going to say, cut in the performance to fix the show. You know what I mean? So that.
Yeah.
And then, coming to your question, at the moment with the show that I'm currently doing, I'm portraying about more than 4 characters. So,
Oh, wow.
So I need to be out of a character in the show to get into another character. So there's no time to really hold on to a character. So that helps me. That helps me to leave the characters in the theater as when I leave in the evening after my performance, because I jump in and out of so many that I would know how to jump out of all of them by the end of the night, by the end of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about theater, tell us if no one has seen it, or if no one has even read the book, because guess what? We read these books in primary school.
Yeah.
Tell us about The Little Prince. And I've seen that you've been touring. How's that going? Like, tell us everything.
All right, cool. Firstly, about the book. The book, also, I didn't know the book.
Come on. What do you mean?
No, first time they told me about the book, they were just like, yeah, we're going to do The Little Prince. Literally, just one of my colleagues jumped out of his seat with excitement. We all just stared at each other like, what the hell are they talking about? You know? But yeah, the book is mainly for white folk and kids who went to private or multiracial schools who were fortunate enough to read the book, because like in the tour that we have done, as you know that we've done a tour, it's sometimes a bit harder for the show to land for Black folk. You know what I mean? Because our people have not read the book. The book is a French book. Right?
Yeah.
So it means more to the French people than it means to South Africans, you know. But the book itself, it's such a metaphor for life, a philosophy of life. It's such an amazing book. I'm glad to be doing the show, because now that means everyone will get to know about the book. You know, now it's not just for the privileged or for the white folk or for whoever. Everybody gets to experience this wonderful story. And now it's not just a French story, you know what I mean? It's now we as the cast of Kwasha have brought it home to also be a South African story. I mean, the book has been translated more than 300 times.
Yes, and I was shocked to find out. Right? I think I was watching the morning live interview.
Yes.
And I was like, 100 times?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
300 and like 2 million books sold, and like there's 400 million readers. So imagine, and that's like 400 million readers of those people I was talking about. But now that's all going to change with how we've adapted the show. You know what I mean? We're getting everybody interested. You know, I've done a performance at Mont Blanc, because are you familiar with Mont Blanc?
No.
They make watches and pens, like expensive watches and pens.
Okay.
Yeah, so now they have a line out, a Little Prince line out, and they've started with a design pen for the fox.
Oh.
Yeah, so which is super
That's
cool.
amazing.
It's amazing. And when they had a launch earlier on this year, I've got to do a reading for them.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were so excited. They were so They were so excited about the book. They were like, no, they're going to bring everyone to come watch. And so can you understand that everybody knows this book, and everybody, even people have tattoos of of the of the image of migrating birds. And if you know the book, you know, like the flock of migrating birds have a big story.
Yeah.
Yeah, in regards to how the prince traveled around all these
All
planets
these.
he traveled on, you know. And then we got books from Mont Blanc, so I was able to give my baby sister's book and people who are close to me, just to borrow them the book, to promote the reading of the book and to promote the book itself. You know what I mean?
I think that's amazing. I think the fact that you guys took a book that was not previously general access to everyone, and you guys are
Yeah.
now having the opportunity to interpret it and make it, you know, everyone, for everyone to know and understand it. I think for me that's amazing because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't actually do that with major works. They don't take the work and be like, you know what, we're gonna make it for the audience and the
Mm,
masses so that you guys can get into it. And I think I love how when you're talking about how the guys decided to start making the pens, and I
yeah.
think for me that's amazing. That's like you guys are educating as much more as being actors acting. You guys are educating people, and you just wanting to bring this whole awareness of, hey, this is literature, this is imagination, and we want you
Mm,
to come into our space and see.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's
definitely.
beautiful. So are you guys still on tour, or is it officially done?
Well, we still, I could say we're still on tour, but we are in our hometown now. We're
Yeah.
having our full run at the Market Theatre from the 8th of November to the 25th of November.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, six city tour.
Yes, I mean, I saw, because I follow you on Instagram. I
Yeah.
saw when you went to Cape Town, and I was like, wow, they are actually taking it around the world. They're taking it around
Yeah.
South Africa. This is amazing.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
this is good. This was really
Yes.
good.
No, no, it was amazing. We started off in PE.
Yeah.
Uh, PE, then we went to Bloemfontein. And Bloemfontein, we had the pleasure of doing like two festivals there, like the Pace
Oh.
Festival and the Freyfias Festival.
Oh.
We were there for like
Oh,
2
I'm so jealous. You
weeks.
guys went to do the Pace Festival?
Yes, we did the Pace Festival.
I am
Uh,
so jealous.
yeah, the Pace Festival
Oh,
is amazing.
it's
It's
so
amazing.
amazing.
It is. Uh, yeah, but we were actually, we got there at the end because we performed the last night of Pace Festival, and then we
Uh-huh.
went into Freight Fairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and then from there we came back to actually do Johannesburg for like 2 weeks. We were at
Mm-hmm.
the South African National Book Festival.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. And amazing, what the book festival was amazing because the audience was strictly kids. The show is for adults and children, but when we
Yeah.
have kids, we have the most fun. So we had the
Mm,
pleasure to perform for those kids at SA Book Fair. And then we went to Cape Town. And
yeah.
then we went to Sasolburg. And then we went to Durban, and then we
Yes.
came back. Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah,
just amazing. Anyway,
yeah. It was,
um, I'm really glad, and I'm just when I just see you, I'm like, this is amazing. This is really amazing. Because I don't know you as Lesego who's currently starring in The Little Prince. I know you as Lesego that runs an acting school for kids on Saturdays. I know you as someone that's rooted in theater work. I know you as someone who's always had a passion for this. And when I just see you doing things, I'm like, this is amazing. She's really leveling up. And I think that's what makes me so drawn to you as a person, is that you always look for opportunities to say, I'm going to move above it. I'm going to rise to the next occasion. And I think, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
I didn't say it before, but I'm quite proud of you. I really am. And I'm like,
Thank you so
right now you're
much.
doing something that's beautiful.
Thank you so much. And it's not as easy. It's not as easy as pushing. Pushing is so hard. I'm very thankful for the people that are around me. The love of my life is
Mm.
always there to push me. It's not as easy, but I have stayed. One thing about me that I know is stayed grounded and true to what I want to do. You know what I mean? Because in a this industry where you cannot just become an actress. You need to become an actress, director, producer, whatever, or just to make a living. And yeah, it's hard when we have to compromise what we would really love to do in order for what we need to eat.
I think that frustrates a lot of creators, and I think I personally reached that point where I was like, I need to decide if I'm going to continue being a creative or I'm just going to pursue life and make sure that I make money for myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what many people don't understand about creatives in general or artists per se, because we love what we do. We want to do what we do, and it makes us happy. But at the same time, it's quite like this burger, and you're looking at your fridge, and you're like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yes.
But I think what you say is true, and I think it's what actually brings me to the main topic of our podcast, is that you have to not only be an actress, you also need to be a director, you also need to
Mhm.
be a producer, you need to be
Yes.
this in order to just in order to stay in this industry and not have longevity per se, but have a career
Yeah.
that's going to stem for you to be in it. I find that okay, in some things it's a blessing, but in other things it's frustrating, because you're like, I want to wake up one day and do what I do with a passion. Now I must wake up and do this and do this and do this and do this, just so that I keep the lights on. Is it necessary for me? And thank you for bringing that up, because that's just like an introduction to what I wanted to talk about, which is the world of influencers. And I want to start off, before we get into it majorly, I just want to start off with like basic levels. What I noticed about how influencers are actually affecting media. I went to 3 auditions
Yeah.
this year.
This year.
And yeah, this year
Okay.
I went to 3 auditions, and 2 of the auditions were like, um, during like the registration process, they were like, we need to see how many followers you have on Instagram
Yes.
and Twitter.
Yes.
And I was like, why? And they're like, no, we need to see how many people actually follow your account. And I'm like, I showed them. I was like, I'm not embarrassed, I'm not majorly well known, so here it is. And I didn't make it to the third round,
Yes.
only placed because of my social followers.
Uh,
And I noticed in the same audition, people that are like major influencers and have major followers.
mm,
These people actually made it all the way, and I was like,
true.
wait a minute. So are we looking at the actual talent, or are we looking at, because this person has probably 11,000 followers on Instagram? Are you looking at the fact that because of his 11,000 followers, these people are going to bring in the audience that you want for your your TV
Yeah.
show, or your are you looking at that, or are we at that point where media's like, no, we need influencers, we need the people that are going to bring in people, or you're looking at the talent? Because at the same time, it cuts into the bridge of advertising. They're literally cutting off advertising, and they're using people to now advertise their own things.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this where we are now? And what does that mean to someone that actually studied this craft, learned this craft? I always think about the kids that went to university or the kids that went to Market Lab,
Yeah.
and actually went through the process and got their certificate. And I'm like, so is that where we are today? I need to have these followers in order to get this.
Yeah.
Is that where we are today?
Yeah, you know, when I've went through that uh space or time in my life where I had the very same questions. You know what I mean? But now I
Mm,
don't, because I learned that in the industry, especially working behind the scenes, that when you, let's say, me and Bonko decide that we're going to run a production, because now we have a company registered and everything. So as we are
yes.
yeah, we are a new productive production company, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we have people coming, we casting people, you know, and people are sitting there, and there are fresh faces from university, wara 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 wara, and we are looking to do like a normal local series, not a film or whatever, just like a normal local series.
Yeah.
What we will do is do the same thing. We will literally go for influencers, and not because we want to, but because sponsors say we need to make our money back. Because here you are, you want to shoot this thing that is so nice, that costs so much money. You need to make that money back. And to make that money back, you need to hire all these kids that are influencers, you
Hmm.
know? And then
That's scary.
it's scary. Now I'm running a business and I'm finding myself in that situation. You know what I mean? That the
Hmm.
very same situation I was complaining
Hmm.
about, to say, shoot, I go to auditions, but I don't get hired, wara, 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 wara. To see that, also to understand that, also to respect everyone's hustle at the same time. To say, these
True.
kids that are influencers, being an influencer is hard. If it was easy, we all would have been influencers,
Oh, guys.
you know? So as a growing artist, you then pick your battles. My battle right now is to be the best that I can be, and be as commercial still as I can be. You know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
like we especially us who are so deep into our artistry, and social media is
Hmm.
just like holding our lives. We have anxiety when we need to post. You need to extra, you need to imagine yourself or put yourself in Kim Kardashian's shoes and play a character like Kim Kardashian, just to 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 get followers. It's sad,
It's sad. It
but it's
really
the
is. But
reality that we need to live by.
I think it's true what you say. It's sad, and it's also actually the truth. And I think not a lot of creators have the same mindset that you're currently having. And I think as much as we are like, we're all about our craft, we're all about what we produce, and it's authentic.
Yeah,
We also have to also have the conversation to say that, guys, you know what, sometimes you need to move with the times. And right now, hey, this works,
yeah,
this works because these are the people that have made they climbed the social ladder, and they were
yeah,
pushing themselves, to be like, I am going to make sure Oguti, I'll get this 11,000 followers,
yeah,
and that means I'll follow everyone's account, and then maybe 2 days after I'll start unfollowing them. It's
yeah,
just so that I can reach this number. And
yeah,
I think that's what I noticed with the beauty industry
yeah,
as a whole, was that influences in the beauty industry in America, and I've seen with South African beauty gurus, is that these companies will pay you so much money. There was a scandal that happened in America with beauty influencers that was saying that some beauty gurus go to the company will come to you and say, "Hi, we want you to promote our latest lipstick, and we want you to do a whole YouTube video on it, advertising this product and telling them how great it is and everything." And we will then it's like, "How much do you want us to pay?" And then the influencer says, "I need $60,000
Mm.
just to do a 30 or 15 minutes video of me talking
Yeah.
about you. You're paying me that money." And some companies will pay that influencer because it's like, this person has over 2 million followers and
Yeah.
has these amazing views, like this person gets the viewership and everything. And I'm like, ooh, as much as people were still saying, advertising is expensive, I'm like, oh, influencers actually have to do a lot in order
Mm.
to just keep a normal life. And at the same time, you need to understand that once you become an influencer, your 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 life has to be a mirror.
Mm.
And it's what I was discussing recently when you were talking about Kim Kardashian. There was a panel talk that they had with last year's nominees of actors and TV hosts. They had
Mm.
a talk about um I think it was RuPaul actually. He brought it up
Mm.
in the conversation and saying, Gucci, the girls that come to Drag Race and we do Drag Race for like the 6 weeks that we do the Drag Race.
Mm.
Once it is, they have to deal with a lot of things. They have to deal with the fandom. They have to deal with people, and
Mm.
some people get the bad at it, or some people get a good at it. But it's like they have to deal with the fans, and if something happens to that person, are we or like if fans constantly harass the person and they're like, "But you're a celebrity, you must deal with it already. Like you must know how to deal with it." Is that fair? Is that fair for me as someone who's like a fan of Khloe Kardashian and I'm busy stalking and I'm like, "But you should know how to handle stalkers." At the end of the day, this is still a human person and they
Mm.
deserve the privacy and the respect. But it's like,
Mm.
is it fair to
Mm.
say because they're celebrities, they should know how to deal with crazy people jumping in and out of
No.
their lives? Is it fair?
No. No. Just because I entertain you in life doesn't mean that you own my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not your family. Like, doesn't mean when you see your neighbor every day, now you can tell them how to live. You see your neighbor every day, your neighbor is famous to you, bro.
Yeah.
You can't you cannot tell your neighbor how to live just because you see your neighbor every day. Now you want to chill with your neighbor, even when your neighbor doesn't want to.
No.
It's exactly like
And it
that.
is.
Just bring it close, just bring it closer to you at home. Ukuthi wena mawusendlini bahlala bakubona bakubulisa mawuphuma ngegate they outside yebo yebo yebo. Those people you see all the time. You just like when you switch on your TV and you see Khloe Kardashian all the time or whoever on TV all the time. You know what I mean? It does not mean now you have the right to tell them shit and you have the right to ask for photos. No, no. Just because you pay for when somebody has died at your next door's neighbor's house and you go and peel amazambanina, it doesn't mean you now have the right to choose the coffin.
True.
You know what I mean? Just pila.
Bopila.
So you no. Nah. Nah, just because we have this amakeke. It's like just because uthenge i-CD yakhe or impahla zakhe or ini. Hayi, ngisho nasestoro, that Pakistani guy, you don't harass that Pakistani guy because you buy fish oil from him.
You don't. You treat him with the amount of
No.
respect that you give.
Yeah, so though they must not now celebrities because they are on TV.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the same thing, I feel. I don't know.
Another thing that I noticed in the influencer game, and I think it's something that I want to ask you, and I think it's also going to bring up in the next podcast that I have. Um, is that people use people to climb the ladder in order to get what they want. Um, it's like if let's say, for example, you had 100,000 followers right now, and I'm sitting on 6,000. I'll be like, hey April, listen, I want us to do a video for my YouTube, and I want us to like work on this. Can we do this? And you're like, no, game, definitely we will. And I'll work with you on like 2 or 3 projects, and I notice me now, Oguti, my followers are increasing. I moved from 6,000, now I'm sitting on 36,000. And then once everything is starting to go seemingly well for me, I push it to the side and I'm like, thanks. You got me to where I needed. The social climbing. Do as an actor or as an actress or as a maybe soon to be influencer, do you ever come across those people in your I'm gonna use you for my own needs, and then when I'm done, leave you.
Yo, no, I'm not that famous yet, but I feel like people should be honest with each other. Like, just say, dog, listen, I need you to help me with this. I need to get about this much followers, And then when you are ready, when you are fine with followers, you say, look, man, I'm cool. I'm okay with my followers. But if I say to you, if you cool, can you help me out? Because I'm looking for more followers. Then he must help you out because you just helped him out. You know what I mean? So I feel like people should just be honest with each other. I feel like if somebody comes to me and says to me, listen, can we do like a show together where I can pump up my followers through you and whatever, I'm like, sure, because I'm gonna also get to pump up my followers through her, because she has followers maybe that I don't have, then I have more, then she gets more, and then we all get more. And when she's tired of it, she can tell me she's tired of it. But if I'm not tired of it, I'm gonna ask her, let's go, maybe sacrifice, let's go for like a month or two so I can get to this much, because I haven't reached my target. If I had a target to reach, you know what I mean? But just honesty is always the way.
I agree, and it is. But I think with some of the kids that I see in the South African circle, it's kind of like I'll use you as a crutch, and then when I don't need you, I'll throw you away. And I think I've also noticed one thing with big brands in South Africa that actually have influencers. You'll see that and I'm not being it's a race issue, and it's always been a race issue, but the white influencers will be paid an extra X amount for the same project that I'm doing, but also tolerate the extra amount. And these white influencers, whenever they flop, it won't be a big issue. But if it's a black influencer and they flop, it becomes a whole massacre chainsaw. And I'm like, okay, in big companies, when you look at your influencers, are you guys still sitting at that thing of it's a white person, this, it's a black person, this? Is this like some of the thoughts that they have? Because I was looking in America at how um this guy, I don't know if you know him, I am Zoe, got them Zoe. He's very versatile as a YouTuber and Instagrammer, and I was looking at white influencers and the same thing that he does. These people have more amount of followings and more amount of fans, and you like they did the same 2 things and they're in the same space, but one will get the more fame and the one doesn't get the more fame. Why is that?
Um, I just think, with those things, ne, I, I don't know if it's a racial thing or what. In terms of what they get paid, I also don't know that. But in terms of following, I know that, you know, we black folk as well, like we like the internet, but we don't vote that much or view things that much or share things that much. But those white kids are always on the internet, man, sharing stuff. You know what I mean? Like
I
liking
know.
stuff. They have all the money and data in the world. So maybe we should
I
just
don't know.
look at
It,
what the following is. Is the following mostly his
yeah.
peers, friends, white folk, or just a mixture of everyone? or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it depends on
No, I
areas.
get it.
And like them, like for me, it's as small as like Facebook. Né? I've noticed on Facebook,
Mm.
like the Facebook was telling me the other day that the most likes I've ever had on Facebook was like 110 or something. And I'm like,
Mm.
what? I can even get 100 or 200 on Instagram, but Facebook. And
Oh.
then I look at some of my old friends from Bumalanga.
Mm.
They, for a normal picture, they would get like 300 likes, all of them. And I'm
Oh.
like, whoa. Then I'm like, it's circles of people that on social media in a certain way. Like me, I don't hang out
Mm.
with a lot of people, so I'm not out a lot of times. I perform everywhere. I try to put my stuff on Instagram, but at the end of the day, I'm still like I like being alone at home with my boyfriend.
Mm.
But that's why my space is not that big. Like I don't go out that much anyway. But you see that those other people go out. They know other people. You know what I mean? So the following in Pumalanga is big. People follow each other in Pumalanga and they like each other's stuff. But in Joburg, not so much. Or in the circle that I'm in, not so much. You see, even on Facebook, with the friends that you know and the type of circles they keep, was okay,
Mm.
yeah, that side people like are on social media. That side, not so much. They're not about social media. Maybe they're about books or whatever. All that much. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
But does that force you as an artist? I mean, I like my own space and I like my own circle that I'm in. But because of how times are moving, am I forced to now stretch myself into every possible market in order to be noticed and in order for me to also grow as a person? Is that where I must move to? I must stretch myself. And at the same time, when I stretch myself, how far am I stretching and what am I stretching per se? Because at the end of the day, I believe remaining true to myself, and I think that's what I always fight with myself is I am I'm a queer writer and I'm a queer person of color, but I noticed Uguti, if I talk about my queerness, I'm limited. But if I just say hi, I'm a black person, I can stretch. But once I start defining who I am and putting the truth in me, it's like you're being limited. So, are we? Do we have to now stretch ourselves thin for everyone in order to get what we need to get from people, like the recognition, the likes, the support? Do we have to do that?
yo, I don't think we have to do that. I just
Mm-hmm.
think it's such an interesting topic because that's what we're always fighting over. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now I'm going into, I want to buy a wig. Why? Because I
Mm-hmm.
want to go to an audition room and feel like I'm in the groove with those girls with nice, beautiful hair. You know what I mean? Like, I get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get also tired of my natural hair because it's a lot of work. You know what I mean?
True.
But sometimes I ask myself, am I wearing this wig for work or am I wearing this wig? You know, I don't like wigs. They just like itch me and all those things. I don't have any other problem besides them being itchy and hair being
Yeah.
everywhere. But then it's like it's so small decisions that you have to make, you know, Guti. Do you stay true to who you are or do you bend something? So find what you can bend to help you move forward, to contribute and to to be able to live, to earn a living, bend what you can,
Yeah.
but don't bend all of you because it's very tricky. I could say to you,
It
do
is.
not. My passionate self and my artistic self says, do not stay true to who you are. But the world and life says, nah, you need to live. It's like getting into any other relationship with yourself, relationship with others, relationship with God, relationship, any relationship. Some things need to be compromised.
True. True. I just want to ask this last question, and then we can move on to other things. Um, in in the future and going forward, is it going to be a case of, and I just don't want to discourage the people that are actually at school right now that are learning to become artists in anything. I don't want to discourage them at all. I want you guys to pursue those degrees because it's meaningful. But in the future terms of how influencers actually make moves in the media industry, are we going to see that in the future where it's going to be influencers only and a little of the trained professionals? Is that are you going to see our media industry in a state of, because as much as this, it's beneficial as a business to have an influencer because those people will bring in people. Are we going to move to a state where it's just me with 20 followers, I mean 20,000 followers, and I make idiot videos and I get this gig where I you can see me on TV would say I'm just learning these lines, I'm not actually in character, and I'm just repeating them verbatim, versus to someone that can learn the lines, get it done, and be in character and give you the performance. Is that where we're moving to?
Um, no, because that is not going to let you survive. You're not going to sustain. You're gonna be a one-hit wonder. You're gonna get into the industry and go out. That's just it. And people who are serious, if who are influencers and they find themselves, sometimes they stumble upon it and study while they do it, because you see some people stumble upon their passion and they want to pursue it and do right by it. So I don't think the influencers will be amazing on social media, because now people are going to be watching on the internet, their phones, because fiber's getting around in Wi-Fi's. Everyone has Wi-Fi now. Internet like access into good now. So
Yeah.
yeah, people will be on social media, people will listen to podcasts, people will do all those things, and then people will still watch TV and will still watch our great actors being sustained, because we were taught still from school the craft. So if when you were not taught the craft, uyuzongena uphume. So those two is about abantu abanjalo. Just work hard, get your degree,
Mm.
and work in your industry and love it and teach.
I think I think that's great, and I think if that's where we're moving to, I'm very glad, and I really want to say this to anyone who's listening to me, and that is an artist, guys. Invest in your craft. You'll never know when it will actually pay off, and just believe in it.
Mm,
I've recently received um I think I've learned the hardest this year, and
yeah,
I was actually grateful for the rejections that I got and where I'm
yeah,
at right now, because um when I started House of Christopher, and I started this in like 2016, and I started off with Law, because Law was the first thing I ever typed before I typed the short stories. When I
yeah,
started with Law, in my head I was like, oh my god, it's so easy for anyone to write a book and they get recognized easily, because I mean, even 11-year-old will be on Morning Live for a book that they released. I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's easy, I know I like writing, and I know I've got imagination. I'm like, it's easy, it's very easy. And the 2 years was a lot of downhill and a lot of uphill, because it was mostly downhill and little uphill, because I'm like, I'm doing this and I'm pushing and I'm pushing. And I'm like, when I started with the Facebook season, I'm like, maybe I'll get recognition here. Maybe it will keep me pushing. And
yeah,
2017 went by, and I still got no recognition. This year, I think I got rejected by two production companies,
yeah,
because they were like, we want a script writer. And I pulled out like four scripts, and I felt with the two scripts that I produced, I'm like, this is fire. This is amazing. You cannot be
mm,
sleeping on this. If you dare sleep on this, you're mad. And the other two scripts, I was like, I'm really not into it. And I rejected by 2 companies, and I was like, oh wow, 2 companies just said no to me. And after that, I just went into this depression phase. I was like, am I right? Am I writing good? Is my writing any
yeah,
good? Why am I not hearing people talking about it? Why am I not hearing people saying, "Oh, you're doing amazing. Is it good?" And I just went into this state of mind where I'm like, you know what, screw it. Screw it. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to entertain people or anything. I'm just going to do it for me. My art, my creativity is for me. It's going to benefit me. And if it doesn't work for people, it's fine. I'm doing my
yeah,
art for me. And I swear to you, once that state of mind kicked in, where I was like, I'm self-serving me before I
yeah,
self-serve other people, I will not lie to you guys. I think the universe, it created a chain reaction because I started off with a podcast, and that's when I started getting people coming to me and they're like, "We love you talking about mental health. We love you talking
yeah,
about bringing awareness." And then I
yeah,
did my photo series, and people were like, "Amazing! You're talking about it. It's going to inspire people." And
yeah,
when I said it's time for me to release the book, because I was skeptical. I'm very skeptical with when it comes to like big projects. I would just sit back and I'm like, should I? Should I not? Should I not? Because the podcast was something that was like done in April, and I only released it now in like September. I just sit back and I'm like, should I? Should I not? And it was the same thing with the book. I was like, is it ready? Is it not ready? How's it going to be received?
yeah,
And once I released the book to the whole world, I
yeah,
was so amazed by the reaction and the love, the support that I received from people. People that I'm like that when like they're on my social media, but they don't talk to me and they don't like my previous stuff was not hype as them. But once I released it, it was like, wow,
yeah,
wow. And I'm
yeah,
like, once you move into this space of my art is for me and it serves me, it
yeah.
will start it will start to work for you. It will
Mhm,
start
mhm.
reaching the masses. So I think that I want to say that to anyone who's an artist right now is believe in it, invest in it, and also don't always think about the people. Think about you and think, is it for you? Will it serve you? Will it make you happy? Because at the end of the day, I always say this to myself, Uguti, look, I may not become famous, but guess what? Whenever I read my book, I'm like, yes, you did it. You did
Yeah,
it. No, you
yeah,
did. You that girl. You actually did that.
yeah,
And I always feel amazing. I always say, I feel so great, guys. Whenever I see something that I released on my own, and
yeah,
even if it doesn't do the expectation that I expect, I'm like,
yeah,
I did that, you know. And I
yeah,
mean, it will be in the entertainment. It will be in the internet. It will stay in the internet
yes,
for as long as internet exists. But guess what?
exists, yes,
It's me. It's my own energy, and I feel great about it. And I can sleep, and I can wake up, and I can be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm really good. And I think maybe do you also practice that where you like, I do my art to serve me. Do you also do that?
yeah, I do. But like there's so many challenges. Sometimes you forget the opportunity that you have because like there's so many challenges in it. But I always remember to say, you know what, thank thanks God that like I can be on stage every night because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you would lose yourself. You go through this phase where there's like a drought, desert,
Yeah.
nothing. And when you finally have something, you get it when you are like not sure about your art anymore. So you have to constantly revive yourself to say you still have the ability, it doesn't mean that because it was off for some time, it's not there anymore. So, yeah, so it's that and appreciating that no, listen, live in the now. It's here, it's happening, and you have every right to be doing it.
Amazing stuff. Really amazing stuff. Um, before we close off is where can people find you? Where can people interact with you? Please tell us if you have any future projects that we need to be looking out for. I know I am already. Any future projects?
Currently doing The Little Prince.
Mm-hmm.
People can find me at Lesego Chabedi on Instagram and Lesego April Chabedi on Facebook and Lesego April on Twitter. And yeah, those are my social things. And find me at the Market Theatre from the 8th to the 25th of November at the Ramalao Makene for a show called The Little Prince.
Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll continue off air, but thank you so much for being part of this. And listen, I don't know if anyone has not seen The Little Prince, read the book. I think right now, 8th until the 25th of November, is a great opportunity for you to get out and actually go watch it. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it, and if I do get my coins ready, I will definitely come watch it because besides reading the book, I like seeing a live adaptation of how things actually work out. I love it. I really do.
Amazing. Just let me know.
All right. Thank you so much for listening into my podcast. This is Clout the podcast, and I am your host, your favorite skinny average icon and legend, Katlego Christopher. Because we will be back next week